let's talk Jackson Dart. I have, through this whole process, I actually had Jackson Dart rated higher than Cam Ward. In fact, I had Jackson Dart as my number 1 rated quarterback in this draft. But I'm going to go with my guy, Jackson Dart. I understand he's not going to have a full season unless Brian Daboll changes his mind. Brian, or anybody that has access to Brian, if you're listening, do not start Russell Wilson. You cannot benefit at all. When Jackson Dart comes in, he is going to take the world by storm. Yes, this is another PB prediction. He is an instant winner. He has it. He has every single intangible needed to run an organization, a franchise, a team. And there's very few people, in my opinion, very few people, especially starting out, that could come in the New York market for the Giants or the Jets and be that guy. So Justin Fields over with the Jets, Jackson Dart, and Justin's been around a while. Jackson Dart with the Giants, that's the personality. They will embrace him. He will produce, and that roster has ability that play to his talents. I'm going to take Brian Daboll in his offensive genius, and what I believe Jackson Dart to be one of the greatest quarterback talents to come out of the draft in the last 10 years, folks. I said it. He'd be the best NFL rookie quarterback of this draft. I said it with Jaden Daniels. That streak's going to continue. Jackson Dart is my rookie of the year.
Yeah. Oh, man.
He's going to be better than Eli Manning. I'll put that out there, too. Jackson Dart's going to, barring injury, I have to qualify it always by saying that. Barring injury, he's a better quarterback than Eli Manning. What is going on, everybody? It's Friday night. We're under the Friday night lights again. Luke will be on there. He is. What's up, Luke?
Yes, sir. Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Hope everybody's out there is doing good on a Friday night. Everybody had a great week. Is ready for a big weekend. This is week 55 of the PB Sports Talk Show. I can't believe it. It's over a year, and things are getting busier and busier. We got a jam-packed show for you today. Lots of cool stuff to get to. I will also recap my appearance, 4th, I believe it was, or is, on Jason Whitlock's Fearless podcast show this morning. But we certainly have a lot of our own material. So I'm going to open up the segment here with the PB for 3 segment about Tarik Skubal for the Tigers. Everybody knows him pretty much as the best pitcher in baseball. I'm going to give my thoughts on that, and I'm going to turn it over to Luke and get Luke's thoughts. All right, so we watched a legendary season last year and this year. I think this year he had about 14 no decisions. All right, 13-6 this year, 18-4 last year. So he's missing out on 22, 23 wins, even if half of the decisions go where they get 3-4 runs in a game. Half of those no decisions go to the win column. He does over 20 wins last year, over 20 wins this year without too much issue because there were so many no decisions this year. So word came out today. Scott Boras, if everybody follows sports, knows who Scott Boras is. He's one of the most aggressive agents in the history of sports. He's a top dollar guy. He is the guy who gets people to go to the Yankees. He gets people to go to the Mets. Big market teams for big market dollars. And so when you have the best pitcher in baseball, basically, who is a left-hander, who's 28, will be 29 in December, he's going for broke. By all accounts, and the deal is not, the terms of the deal are not fully disclosed for the public to know, but by all accounts, they're about $250 million. That's B, $250 million away in the deal. So at least $250 to $300 million apart. I'm sure it's a longer deal that they want, and the Tigers want to give a lesser deal with less total money, obviously, is where your difference is. My thoughts are as follows. You trade him right now, or you trade him up near the deadline, and you get max value for him. And you create a bidding war, and you get 3, 4, 5 teams in there. So you're going to get the Phillies that are interested. You're going to get the Yankees who are interested. You're going to get the Mets who are interested. And you just rake them over the coals and take everything you have. There is no possible way that the Tigers are going to pay some $450 million to $500 million. So if they're $250 million off, the number didn't start at zero. Okay. It's probably a $200 million deal that they offered them, 150 to 200, and they're asking for 400 to 500 million. So they're not going to pay that. And I wouldn't pay that. It's way too much money for his age. The term will go way too long. It'll go beyond. Now, you can argue Max Scherzer pitching like a bulldog last night. That's a beautiful thing. Looks like the Terminator out there. He's screaming at his coach, I'm fine, leave me in. And he gets out of the inning. Beautiful deal. Luke, I say trade him. 4 or 5 guys, farm guys, regular contributors in the lineup. And you just keep on drafting and keep on building. Stay away from that big money. What do you say?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I know it's boring or whatever, but that's the right call. That's the right move. I think there's no point having a guy that shuts everyone down if you're only scoring one run a game. So we have holes that we need to fix, and we're trying to get to the big game, to the big stage with not big players. You've been pretty adamant about the whole 4A lineup and everything like that. So that needs to be fixed. And unless you have 4 Scoobles, you're not going to do much with that lineup in the long term. So yeah, it sucks. As a Detroit fan, we don't want to sit here and sit we have the guy, so it sucks to be we got to get rid of him, but that's where we are. And unfortunately, yeah, I agree.
So there's a lot of Tiger fans that are saying Alex Bregman is going to come available. He took the deal with the Red Sox instead of us. And people are all excited. Look, see, that's not going to move the needle, in my opinion. Do you believe?
As far as
No, well, yes, as far as keeping Scooble, but that's not going to make a difference that much in your lineup to suggest that, oh, yeah, we're 4.9 runs a game and we're going to get better scoring production for a guy like Scooble, right? You need a lot more than that.
For sure. Yeah, if the guy comes in and hits 300, that's only 3 hits every 10 at bat. It's not, you need more. You do need more. But if there's a way that we can, I don't know. It's hard because with the whole salary cap and everything, and Detroit is Detroit. It's not like a destination city. So
it's a smaller market.
Right. If we could get the bats and keep them, obviously that's ideal, but
not happening.
Not happening, I don't think.
And they're 3 to 4 bats away, and they're another starting pitcher or 2 away. So it's not like they're a Scooble away from winning a World Series, right? Or even going to the World Series.
Right.
And people might say you're crazy for saying this because we were within 1 game of they can't compete with those teams, and they just would get exposed. So I just think it's kind of shallow. It's kind of not a big deal. So yeah, it sucks. It's going to happen again, right? Scherzer pitched wonderfully, won a Cy Young after he left Detroit, right? And you don't get those guys to let them go. Right. But the money is the money, and they are where they are. They did not improve their team this year in terms of at the deadline, and they set themselves up for this. And if you're Tarek, if you're Scooble, what would you do?
That money's too much the way it sounds now is it's double. You got to go where the money is, and especially a team that, after I saw what Detroit did, or lack thereof, what they did at the deadline to help a guy that's pitching, lights out. They didn't help me with any sticks in the lineup. The Mets don't do that. Mets, I think they're the top contender right now from what I've seen. But if the Mets need a bat at the deadline, they're getting a bat. They're going for it. And they can more so than us, but I would go, you want to win, you're 29.
Yeah, he's a super competitive guy, and it's got to crush him. It's got to crush him because he knows that his prime years are now, and you got to capitalize on it. That's not to say that he can't pitch well at 32, but right. if he's there, he sees it, he knows it, he knows a lot more than we do. He sees what he sees. It is what it is, and you're gonna go to the Yankees. Hey, they got bounced too, right? The Mets, they got bounced too. So it's is it 100 times better? No. But do they have a greater chance to win? Yes. And will they continue to give themselves a chance to win and do it by any means necessary? They have the market, they have the money, they have the TV deals. Yes, yes, and yes. So I'm running. I'm run, Forrest, run. I'm running if I'm him. And if I'm the Tigers, start the bidding right now.
Yeah.
And then pull back if you need to. Wait closer to the deadline to increase your offer. You don't have to trade him right now.
Right.
Or even at the beginning of the year. But start.
We
start
should be able to go get whatever we want. I mean, how?
You mean in a trade?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
should get a. They should get a haul. And there's teams that will give up, number 1 and number 2 prospect in the farm, and a couple of solid, everyday major guys, and you're going to save a ton of money in the process.
Yeah.
So it's a tough deal, but it is, right?
It's the business. I don't want to see him go. If somehow something happens where he stays, I'm going to be so happy. I don't care. I don't care. It's just, I'm a fan, so it's hard to say.
I don't think it's going to happen. The money's wrong, and the lineup's wrong. So for every reason, it's wrong. I don't know that he wants to stay. Why would you stay? For the reasons we just described. Forget the money. He can't win. He's not going to win. Jackson Jobe and whoever comes back, I just still don't think it's enough. All right, so today's show, everybody, it's pretty jam-packed. We're going to do a very, very quick, in a moment here, a very quick recap of the Chiefs Lions last week and a couple of the things that stuck out in that game, and then we'll kind of fast forward to this Monday. I see a lot of similarities, only in the reverse. Luke and I both sucked last week, 5-10 in the pros, and then I was 3-3 in college, and Luke was 1-5. So we stunk up the joint, and we're gonna do a lot better here on week 7. It's 8 for college, 7 for the pros. So Marcus Freeman to PSU, Penn State University, top 5 NFL teams as of today. LeBron's what I like to call fake injury, our NBA season thoughts, which will be largely focused on the Western Conference top 10. We won't have time to get to the Eastern Conference with the season starting next week. We'll cover the Eastern Conference probably early week. However, the Western Conference is the more intriguing and more interesting side of things. Anyhow, the college football picks for week 6, the NFL picks, maybe a touch a little bit on the Pistons, and probably there's always a couple of other things. And before I continue, guys, if you have not yet followed us on X, I ask that all of you do. On X at PB Sports Talks with an S on the end, and the subscription count is going up quite a bit on YouTube. What's up, Jesus? Welcome, man. This guy, he's like clockwork. What a supporter. And he says hello to Luke too. Thanks for jumping in, Jesus. Appreciate it. If you have not subscribed on YouTube, please do so at PB Sports Talk. Okay. No S on the end. We want to get that subscriber number up to 1,000 on YouTube, and we need to get 2,000 verified subscribers up on X in order for us to start monetizing. Quick thing right here. If you are so inclined and you would like to contribute financially to our show and help the growth of our show and kind of be like a founding member, on the front page of X, Twitter, if you want to call it, at PB Sports Talks, right there where you see the little yellow finger, it's pointing to what looks like a dollar bill. You can click on that and make a donation of any size you would like. That comes to us, and that will go directly to the program to increase equipment, lighting, and there's a lot that goes into this behind the scenes. So if you should feel so inclined, we would greatly appreciate that. All right, Luke. So the Lions last week, Sunday night football against the Chiefs. There was a couple of things, 3 things that stood out. Brian Branch and what he did with Juju Schuster, the goal line play, and the game in general with the Chiefs and what the Chiefs had riding and what we had riding. Let's start with what the Chiefs had riding and didn't want to lose 2 in a row, and we were 4-1 and wanted to get to 5. What's your overall thoughts on the final result of the game?
Yeah, so I know beforehand, last week's show, we kind of touched on this. What was at stake? You said it was one of the biggest Lions games in history, and I felt like I agreed with you as far as the opportunity that was there, changing the standard of things, I guess. But I always kind of felt like it meant more, like it was the Chiefs had more to lose that night, and we're still where we're at, and it's away game, prime time at Arrowhead. Like you said last week, that's prime Patty. That's where he's the best. And, we just ran into be for real. Like that's probably the team of the decade, right? Like the Chiefs that's the team that everyone wants to beat, compare to, hate, everything. And you can't be too mad. I don't know. I bet on the Chiefs, which I didn't want to say that, but I didn't feel like the Lions were going to pull that one out. I know we're weak. We're thin in the secondary again. But I think it's okay. I think survive and advance. We lost, but advance. We've got a long season.
So you don't put too much damaging. It doesn't like damage their stock or their team that they dropped it, right?
I don't.
You obviously like to see them win. Right?
Yeah, if you look at what we said at the beginning of the year, none of us had the Lions at 7-0 or whatever. So I mean, we're kind of where we want to be as far as be battle tested, win or lose. That's yeah. So
the goal. What's that?
I said I don't put too much on it, but go ahead.
Gotcha. So the goal line play, which I have some very, very, very strong opinion on. I want to get your take on it. The actual play itself, that they ran it, the referees, etc. Before I go off.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you were talking about. Goal line. What goal line play are you talking about? Late game?
No, the pass to golf.
Oh, why they ran that play?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying why they ran the ball, and I was like, when did they run it on the goal line? But
why they ran that play?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a killer, though. If we went down and went up 7-0, that would have been nice. That would have been very nice. But I don't know. Trying to be too cute, maybe. Trying to slap in the face to Ben Johnson, we don't need you kind of thing. I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. We have the best run game in the league. Like, run the ball.
And the refs. And the calling from New York, and first it's a touchdown, and then it's not a touchdown, and the call comes from New York, and they basically
I meant
to the rule at that point.
I meant to do research on it and see what the actual rule is. I don't know, but it seemed fishy. Like maybe
they altered it.
Yeah,
they altered it. There was gray area, and they basically cemented a rule in game, which obviously went against the Lions. Now, you had the inside scoop, whereas a lot of other people don't. You know how I feel about officiating. And what's my feeling on officiating? Let me test your memory.
I don't remember.
You never blame you never blame officiating. Officiating is not the reason you win or lose.
Right.
So any other thoughts on the goal line play?
No, I just think why be so cute, but like that's kind of what we do. It's just like shock and awe. What was it 2 weeks ago? We were talking about, or it wasn't me and you, it was me and my brother, but we were talking about that read option with St. Brown and Gibbs. Like, we're like, that was so cool, And then this week, it's like, why do we do that? But if they would have scored on it, we'd be like, we don't need Ben Johnson. That's so cool. I don't know. You can't.
I don't read it that way. I'm really upset. I'm still upset about it. Those plays are to be run by teams that have no goal line offense at the 1, 2, 3 yard line. They don't have the ability to beat you, regularly on 4 downs. So you have to resort to things like that. The Lions arguably have the best full set of utensils, right? Best full set of weapons at every position on offense. It doesn't matter if you're at your own 20, 40, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, or at the 1. 2 phenomenal backs, phenomenal tight end, 2 very good wide receivers. You can play a great play action game on the goal line. Why on the 1 yard line are you throwing to your quarterback? He's not a wide receiver. And, it's a nice catch. It was, kind of semi-deflected, and he's bobbling it. That's phenomenal. I'm not interested in style points. I'm interested in points. That's 6 plus 1 is 7 early on, and you dictate tempo, right? And Campbell, he didn't fully say it when they brought it up again the other day. He says, look, this is really a sore subject for me. I don't know if he was talking about regret for running the play, because make no mistake about it, and I said it in a live this week, Dan Campbell is behind all the trickeration of the Lions. It's not Ben Johnson. Before Ben Johnson was ever in place, he was doing this, going forward on fourth down and doing some of the fancy stuff. Johnson took it a little bit further, but this is really Dan being different. All right. So go ahead, please, with what you were going to say.
I just think live by it, die by it. Like, we do that and we're happy when it works, and I'm not going to be too mad when it doesn't, especially when it did work and, there's that gray area. I hear what you're saying 100%. Like, Philly, they'll run that tush push 4 times, and it's like that's what puts points on the board.
But they've mastered it. They've mastered it with their quarterback. They understand how to get lower than everybody, and they get to push forward. The play has remained legal, and so they're doing it because they're the best at it.
I'm agreeing with you. Like, they have that. That's just power. We're just going to score. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no style point.
But we can do that too. Not the tush push, but we can do that with Montgomery or whoever we need to do it. Why are we throwing to our quarterback on the goal line?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, other people are doing it that way. I get that you don't need style points. Like, I get what you're saying as far as we have the utilities to just punch it in and what's it called? Like, show our will or whatever and punch it in whenever we want.
Our will, and they went right down the field. And why you got to even give yourself a chance to take that away? It's like, so we might say the same thing if they win or lose against the team by applying your best options. So we'll get to Flacco in a minute. 23 targets to Jamar Chase last night, tied for third all-time, 16 receptions. You're going to your best player and maybe the best receiver in the world. Go with what is your best option.
So
goal line or not.
How do you feel about, like the trickery stuff that they do when they throw it out to Sewell and they do all that, like frisky stuff?
I don't think it's necessary. Some of the hook and ladder stuff I don't mind too much. Definitely reverses. Jet sweeps are a little bit more basic. An occasional flea flicker, that's part of the game. But you start throwing an offensive lineman all the time. You're throwing to your quarterback. You're having a wide receiver like Jameson Williams in the NFC Championship to get to the NFC Championship game, rolling out and throwing a ball when you're down 10 in the whatever it was, the end of the third quarter against Washington. It's mind-numbing to me. That's not how you're going to win. And if you want to trick it up a little bit, there's some other things you can do without making your wide receiver throw the ball or your quarterback catch the ball, neither of which Goff won't get a second reception all year long, most likely. Jameson Williams, I don't think he had any passes that year until that. This is not even what they do.
Yeah, no, for sure. But would you say like it'd be more acceptable in a game that's not at Arrowhead versus Kansas City? Like, say we're playing.
No. It's like when we played. If we were playing St. Lawrence or we were playing somebody else, it's like, okay, can you get away with it against certain teams? Yeah, but why are you going to do it? I'm going to go with our bread and butter and what works, and I'm going to shove it down your throat until you prove you can stop it, and then I'm going to do something else. It's not like they don't have the ability to do like 7 different things in that position, and you're throwing to freaking Jared Goff. And there's zero room for error. You're throwing down the goal line. There's 11 guys all pressed up, basically, hands everywhere. It did get deflected. That was a hell of a catch by him, to be honest with you, for a quarterback. That's pretty athletic play. But I don't even know why you put yourself in that position. Jesus, great. Jesus says, great job today on Fearless. That's the only sports talk I can actually stomach. Absolutely top shelf quality. I appreciate that, Jesus. I'm trying hard. I hope to become a regular contributor long term. That was number 4 today. And feeling good about what's next, and hopefully that keeps up. All right, so the Juju Schuster and Brian Branch, what happened at the end of the game with the crackback or the blindside hit by Juju, and then post game by Branch. Your thoughts?
I think unacceptable. I mean, I know I didn't even watch all the stuff. Like, I was scrolling Twitter today, and it was all this we stand with Brian Branch, and like they were doing stuff to him. It doesn't matter. That's not he's a leader on the team. Like, you can't be doing that kind of stuff. Just simply for the simple fact that now we have a big game versus Tampa Bay and he's not playing. You don't do that stuff. Like, you can't. No matter what they said, no matter what they did, just don't do it. Like, I won't even watch like the arguments for him or his case. Like, I'm against it all the way. Don't do that.
Yeah. And I love what Campbell came out and said. He opened it up, says, hey, I got to tell you, I love Brian Branch, but what he did is completely unacceptable. Now, in his defense, likewise, what Schuster did is totally unacceptable, and you can get hurt. You can get hurt with that shot. That's a blindside shot from behind. That's a dirty play. And I could see why he was fired up, and Branch is an emotional guy. I get it. And he's a tough guy. He's like, don't mess with us kind of guy. And he is part of the newfound attitude for the Lions, and I appreciate that. But you just hurt your team by doing that in a very big way against and maybe the MVP candidate at home, and in my opinion, a must-win game going into your bye.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Oh, yep. You heard him, and like, you know what you're doing. I understand. Like, I get it. I get heated too, and like a lot of people do. But you can't hurt your team like that. There's more. You already lost the game. Don't hurt more than you have to. Like,
but even if they were winning the game, the outcome of that game, you said it a minute ago. The outcome of that game was irrelevant. It's what you just did to your team in the future and the upcoming game, which is as big. Probably now you can argue it's bigger. It's a bigger game. You're at home, and it's just stupid.
Yeah, I agree. That's all it is stupid.
And about 20 years ago, I learned a very valuable lesson. Maybe more than that, 25 years ago. I'm dating myself. Is that when you apologize, you don't say but. And but. Remember, we talk about this in the games. But. And he says, I was wrong, but he hit me from behind. No, you either believe you're wrong or you don't believe you're wrong. No one's arguing that what Juju Schuster did was right. No one is going to sit here and say that. But because the second guy always gets caught, you got caught. And then you give Mahomes the opportunity to say, we play between the lines, we play between the whistles. It's just going to exacerbate it more. It's going to give people more things to talk about. And the focus becomes on you and stupidity instead of you and your team, which comes first. In that moment, he left his head and he made it about him.
Sure. And I don't want to like come off as don't do that. That's like, I get it too. Completely understand. Like, the heat of the moment. The man, as Tom Brady said it the best, like, everyone's sitting outside judging or watching the man inside the arena. Like, we're not down there. We don't feel that. But I felt similar things, and I can see how stuff like that happens, but it's still unacceptable. It doesn't matter.
People don't hit me from behind every day, but I have almost one thing every day that happens to me that I might want to lose my cool about.
Yeah.
But I got to think. My mom used to always tell me, think before you speak, think before you speak. In his case, think before you haul off and give somebody a bloody nose through a face mask, right? Yeah. And it's funny, Jordy Nelson is the one who came down. Remember Jordy Nelson from the Packers? Yeah. He's the one who came down and verified or upheld the suspension. He's in the rules, part of the rules committee. He was the one who actually, stapled that with the final stamp, and out you go. So.
Yeah, he hates
and the refs. Do you buy into this Chiefs supporting the Chiefs and all this stuff?
I don't think so. I don't know. They had 0 penalties, right? Was that the number?
That's crazy. That is crazy.
There's some. I mean, they say you can call a hold on every play, so to not call any is crazy. I don't think there's some conspiracy though. Like, I'm a Chiefs fan. I like the Chiefs, so every time I say that, I get all kinds of flack from my friends and everything. Like, they cheated. There's all these like videos, like AI of like Mahomes like kissing the ref and stuff. Like, it's it's not a hand. Or it's out of pocket. I don't subscribe to that because the Lions could have played better. It's got nothing to do with them.
I still don't think they played their very best this year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no.
They haven't played the ultimate full game yet. I really don't.
We've shown a complete game. I agree, but we've had some drives where I was like, you can't stop. dude. You can't.
Yes, I agree with you, but I'm saying the full package, all three phases, everything where it's just kind of close to flawless. I haven't seen that yet. All right, so fast forward to this week. So you got the Lions at 4-2, staring a bye in the face against 5-1 Bucks, who are just rolling, right? And Baker's your guy and all of that. Now they might be without a Mecca in this game. It's looking like he's not going to play, but I think Tampa Bay and Mayfield has proved that they can play and they can win with whoever's out there, and they're going to put their best foot forward. Also, so the Lions, I think it's 2 in a row against Tampa Bay that they've won. And that one was 26-20. That kind of that wasn't the playoffs. That was to get into the playoffs, I believe.
Yeah.
Where the Lions beat them at Ford Field. So they're gonna be feeling a little bit salty about that.
There was a game closer than that. It was like 23-20.
26-23. Yeah, 26-23 maybe. And Baker's gonna feel pretty salty. He's feeling pretty good about himself. The whole team is feeling pretty good about themselves. So reverse. Take last week and reverse it. To me, this is weird as hell. Well, what we said last week. So Tampa's saying this is a must win. This is a must win. Hey, we want to go to 6-1, push them to 4-3, the whole 9. Same conference, same conference, the whole 9 yards. Let's continue to extend out our lead. This is a must win for the Lions coming back home after losing 4-2. You want to go 5-2 going into your break. You come out of the break, you play Minnesota, whether that's with Wentz or whether that's with J.J. McCarthy. Either way, you cannot go into this break losing 2 in a row. And much like last week, I talked about only 5 times has it happened in Mahomes' career where they've lost 2 in a row. I don't have the Lions numbers in front of me, but over the last 3 years, I bet you it's almost nil. Because they only had 2 losses and they only had 5 losses. The other one, they're not a team that typically loses 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this game?
Thoughts are it is a very losable 2-week stretch. So, tread with caution. It's not just it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a great game. And but from piggybacking off what you said, yeah, I think it is a must win based on last week. You can't lose 2 in a row, especially going into the bye. I get just looking forward, if we did lose, or I shouldn't say we were talking to people, but if the Lions lose, go into the bye, come out refreshed and okay, let's run the table. It's not a season ending kind of thing, or it's not going to derail what the Lions are trying to do, but it's tough.
You got to win this game.
You have to. Between
you
5
and win this.
I agree. I just don't. Yeah, it is.
Are you going to sneak after this show or tomorrow and go put money on Tampa?
No.
Are you going to give it to us? No. What's going to happen in this game?
I'm not betting against the Lions at home.
Okay. You bet against them on the road only?
Yeah, I bet on the Chiefs at home.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going to happen?
At home in prime time.
We'll get to the picks later, but what do you see happening in this game? How do you see it playing out? And by the way, Aleem McNeil's scheduled to be back.
That's good. I see the Lions coming out playing damn near flawless on offense and running the ball, converting third downs, not getting stopped at all. I think their offense is going to be on fire, and I think the Bucs are going to rely on Baker Mayfield to make plays without Ibuka, Godwin, Evans, Bucky Irving. They don't have anybody right now, but somehow Baker's playing like Superman, and he's just making stuff up, making stuff happen. So I think what happens is they hang in. I think the Bucs hang in. They don't go away. Maybe 14-0, then 14-7, then 17-10. They're right there the whole time. And then.
So you got the Lions 7 to 10 point victors. It sounds like.
I think it's one of those how they say whoever has the ball last wins. I think it's whoever has the ball last covers. I think the Lions win.
Covers.
Yeah, covers. I think if the Bucs, they can go down and cover the 5-point spread, or lose by 10. So it's one of those.
I personally think they're going to beat the hell out of Mayfield. I think the Lions are coming. Honestly, I think they're coming. That's not a Baker thing. It's
I know.
It's a timing thing, and they're pissed off.
Yeah,
I think they're pissed off, and I'm not sure how they're going to have McNeil on a clock. He's not going to come in and play all the snaps. It's not even possible to do that. But the boost that's going to give them, and Quadeen Muhammad is a great energy guy, which is why I was pushing for that pre-Davenport getting hurt, because you have obviously Hutchinson on the one end and you have him on the other end. I think the crowd's going to be jacked. I think they're going to be playing way above their heads. And I truly believe that inside that locker room, they are viewing this as a must win. And again, back-to-back weeks, and we have a lot of these this year. It's a gauntlet of a schedule. This is another barometer. This is one on the road that you screwed yourself, basically, and now one at home. And again, regardless of injuries and such, because everybody's got them, do your job. Do your assignment. Play your game, and Tampa can't win this game, in my opinion. We'll get to the picks later, but I want to see in Tampa is very suspect against the pass. And I think that Goff is going to have an absolute field day. I think you'll see Jameson Williams have probably his best game. Mark that down. Hey, Zeus, you can keep track. Yeah, thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. Welcome to the show. Adam says, way to bounce back on Fearless today. I'm working a whole new computer system. So, and I think it's truly something on their end. They're using a different system and they're trying to work out some bugs. But I think that my end was compounding things. So it was a dual thing. But yes, thank you. So I think that, they're very susceptible to the pass. I think the Lions going to be able to do whatever they want. They're going to be able to run. I mean, you got what's his face in the middle, number 50. Help me out.
David.
Huh?
David.
No, big fella, number 50. Vita Vea.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to stuff up that middle, but I don't see them. I don't see them stopping it, and I think this is a victory going away, something like 10 to 14 points. But they got to take it seriously, and they cannot let up even for one moment. And honestly, everybody you named, I don't think all of them are going to be out. Evans, Godwin, Ibuka, Bucky. I don't think they've all been ruled out. I looked before we got on. Some of it's day to day. I think the only one that has been announced for sure is Ibuka.
Well,
we'll see.
If Bucky comes back, that'd be cool. I need him in fantasy bad.
Yeah. Let me see here. All right, Luke. So I have been very, very, very outspoken about Marcus Freeman all week long as the number one choice for Penn State. Before I get into my thoughts on Marcus, tell me what you think. What is your opinion about Penn State cutting him loose when they did?
There was obviously a problem, but I just, what's the word?
Underachieve?
No. I'm not even going to be able to think of it, so I'm just going to scratch that. But just like going, like, I think now where they have been is like top tier, and now they're going to go, they get rid of Franklin, and they're going to struggle to find somebody as good or that puts up that same amount of wins. At Penn State, what's his record? What's his all-time record?
I have it written down, but I'm not going to look for it. It's awful against top 25. It's awful against top 10, and it's awful against top 5. Well, it's historically nightmarish bad. What that? Yeah.
Who's going to who do they hire?
Who do they hire? Well, if you look online and you scroll through Twitter, I mean, they're coming up with every idea known to man. Some are trying to say Nick Saban's the guy. While I think Nick Saban is a terrific choice, he's got 3 years. He's got a 3-year shelf life. You're not going to sign him and let him come in to then lose him in 3 years. The number one guy on the planet for that job is Marcus Freeman, and hear me out as to why. Number one, he's wildly successful at Notre Dame. Number two, Notre Dame has, if not the toughest, because you have Duke out there, if not the toughest, a top 5 toughest admission school in the country. He is playing with a small pool of athletes. He is not playing with the most talented athletes in the country because they can't get accepted. He goes to Penn State. It is like 10x. And I did the math. I did the research on this. The acceptance rate at Penn State is night and day difference in comparison to Notre Dame. So everybody within, for the most part, everybody would become an option for him. And he's very specific on who. I've really studied his life. Honestly, I've studied his life, his style, all his ability, all his games. I listen like religiously to everything that he says to learn from him. And I got so much respect for him. He's going to be selective on who he picks. He's not going to go get a bunch of troublemakers. They still have to fit a certain type of mold. They still got to fit a certain type of team. But you will see all world talent be accessible to him, whereas he's had less talent, like, hey, let's coach him up type of thing. So if you're looking for a guy to come in, see, James Franklin should have been fired 6-7 years ago. I remember having conversation with a couple of friends way back when they would struggle against Michigan, the struggle against Ohio State. I think he's 4-15 against both those teams. He's been there 12 years and has been a total failure, like an absolute failure in big games. There are very few people in the history of college football have a worse big game record than James Franklin. And for some reason, dude has gotten like skated by, just totally skated by. You have the NIL. What's that?
Because he beats the teams he's supposed to beat, and like
loses to the teams that he needs to beat.
Right. So what are you expecting if you're Penn State? Like that, I think that's what it comes down to. I'm not a Penn State guy, so I'm not. I thought this year was their year. So you
have to go get a guy that is the polar opposite of him that's going to be there for the next 10 to 15 years. You also have to be in the running for a guy that is going to make a difference in an NIL era and in a portal era. It goes beyond money. You have to have a guy that's going to give players two sorts of players. One, a reason for players to come, and two, a reason for players to stay that goes far above any money. It has to do with a system, with a culture, with the ability to win every year, with the ability to get them to the pros every year, with the ability to win the big games every year. And in my opinion, now Kalen DeBoer, like this is not an Alabama thing being said. This is a Twitter thing and Twitterverse saying, the more I think about it, Kalen DeBoer, more I think about it, Urban Meyer, more I think about it, this one, that one. I mean, they're throwing out every name under the sun, including names that have never been a head coach before. You're Penn State, you don't hire somebody that has never been a head coach. You hire somebody that has a proven track record of winning, a proven track record of recruiting, and a proven track record that far exceeds anything James Franklin ever did. And in my opinion, that's Marcus Freeman. When you factor it all in, 39 years old, it's not like Nick Saban is 72 or 3 or whatever. Urban Meyer's up in his, I think, 60s now. Urban's got a very shaky past. He's had some failing stops. Marcus Freeman is a winner, chicken dinner.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Marcus Freeman. I like him too, but I would rather be at Notre Dame than Penn State. Maybe that's just me, but I would rather be at Notre Dame. Because you're talking culture, first of all, and Notre Dame's got probably the best culture in college football.
Yeah, but Marcus can replicate that. Now you have the Golden Dome, you have the helmets, you have the fight song. I mean, you can't change that. But he will take the same type principles, okay, and bring it to Penn State. Penn State has been in the national conversation for a few years right now, but it wasn't real. And anybody who follows college football knows it's not real. Marcus Freeman will make it real. I'm telling you. They will be legit. They won't be fringe. They won't be, oh my gosh, we got to play over our heads. You're going to have guys like Drew Aller all over the country want to come play for him. And AJ Carr, he might bring it with him.
Yeah. I think that he fits well, but I'm thinking the other way. Why would I want to leave Notre Dame? Just for the talent pool that you're talking about?
You mean leave to go follow him?
No. If I'm coach, if I'm what's his name? If I'm the coach, if I'm Marcus Freeman, why do I want to leave Notre Dame?
Because I just gave you the reasons. Because he's going to have access to a better pool of players. He has a greater chance to win multiple national championships at Penn State for what he will build. And not right now. He has to do more things to make that program that way, but he'll be in the conversation every year because he has the ability to tap a pool of players that Notre Dame cannot. So he rebuilt Notre Dame from very low from where it was, but I don't think it's realistic to think that Notre Dame is going to be in the conversation every year, even with Marcus Freeman and everything that I think of him, in the national conversation, in the hunt for the national championship every year at Notre Dame. But at Penn State, he would be.
And Notre Dame, they don't have to play anybody.
I understand.
They basically have a free route to the playoffs every year. So
I understand, but you know it as a former high-level player at the high school and even at the college level. You want to play the best. You want to be the best. You want to compete for national championships every year. You want, obviously, the most amount of money. You want a great culture. And what he has at Notre Dame is a great culture, but he can replicate the same or similar thing at Penn State. And they will legit be a number 1 to 5 team going into every next year. Notre Dame isn't that and won't be that. Because it can't be that.
You think the talent pool is that much of a difference? You think?
Oh my gosh, Luke! If you look up the numbers are staggering.
I know it's
the
hard.
Academic standard, it rules out 70% of the players.
Yeah, but they got some good players coming out of there. Like,
I'm not disagreeing, but you have basically 90% of the player pool becomes available to you. Let's call it 75%. Because there's 25% their grades are going to suck at Penn State and you're not going to be able to do it. So 75% of the country becomes an option for Penn State with Marcus Freeman. Right now, it's like 30%, maybe 35, 40, maybe % of the players are eligible to enroll at Notre Dame. I just looked it up yesterday.
I know it's slim.
Funny.
I know it's
so. I think he's the great candidate. A lot of people think Matt Rule, and bring your buddy Dylan Raiola with them. Matt Rule played there, and to me that holds no value. It holds no water. Matt Rule has done a nice job at Nebraska. He would do a nice job at Penn State, but as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't rule. He doesn't rule. He doesn't move the needle for me. If you want to be a power and you want to give every reason, and it's hard now with the portal and everybody transferring, you have to give every reason beyond money, and you have to give the reasons with money for somebody to stay. People love Marcus Freeman. I'm telling you, the guy is special. He is probably the most special coach. And Kirby is my other guy. All right. Like, I love Kirby. But if Kirby was available tomorrow and I'm the decision maker at Penn State and they're both available, I don't take Kirby. I take Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, I would too. And that's the thing. I agree with you. And I think what he's done at Notre Dame is awesome. And I would love to play for Marcus Freeman personally speaking as a player, but I just don't think he'll want to go. I think I'm holding Notre Dame to a higher level than you are. I think you're saying I think it's a great fit for Penn State. If Penn State could land him, hell yeah. Good for Penn State, but I think it's not something that he would want to do.
We're about to find out. I haven't heard him say anything about it. And I'm sure there's back channel and backdoor conversations that are going on. Matt Rule has already said, this is a destination, meaning Penn State is a destination. Adam asks, what do you think of this, Luke? Adam asks, what about Dabo if he gets chased out of Clemson? Long shot, but just a thought. Dabo Swinney at Penn State versus Clemson. What do you think about that? If you're Dabo Swinney, would you do it?
I don't know. It's a whole different world going up to the Big Ten from the ACC. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
Different, but do you think you would do it? Do you think things got stale at Clemson and it's time for a change? And he starts to put out signals that say, get my name in the ring.
Yeah, if I was Swinney, I would do it. I don't see.
If you're Penn State, would you do it? Would you want him in your top 5 candidates?
He could be a top 5 candidate for sure if things fall through. I would probably rather have Matt Rule.
So if you're Penn State and you're a decision maker, is Dabo in your top 5?
coach. I think he's a better coach than Rule, but I think, just with the things that, like, going from Nebraska to Penn State is just a different thing. It being his alma mater, I know you said it doesn't hold any water. I think it does a little bit as far as like
recruits.
Oh, that's what you're talking about?
No, well, that's one of the reasons.
No,
what's the advantage of him playing for Penn State in the past as it relates in today's world in a portal and an NIL system? Now, in the past, Michigan guy, Jim Harbaugh, this type of thing, Brady Hoke, that type of thing. But that doesn't apply, in my opinion, as much as it doesn't hold as much weight as it used to.
I mean, nothing really holds as much weight as it used to. College football's that whole thing kind of ruined a lot of stuff, but you just as a player, it's a different thing because from your first day on campus, they're trying to get you to buy into this system and buy into what they believe in as a culture of a university. And if you have a guy preaching Penn State's culture to you that went to like Utah or something, it just comes off a little different than someone that actually went there and lived in those locker rooms and did all that. It's a nudge. Like, it's an easier sell on the culture. Like, I loved it so much. I'm back as a 50-year-old man.
Speaking of college football, Louisville is up on Miami 14-7, just starting the second quarter. Miami's on their own 13, 2nd and 4. I had a feeling that they might struggle in this game. I still think they'll pull it out, but I thought all along it was going to be high scoring.
Yeah, they should.
Thank you, ETF42. He says, great job on Fearless today. I appreciate that very much. Yes, Penn State, Jesus, Penn State's got deep pockets, and they have Adidas in their pockets. There's a lot of talk about who actually got James Franklin fired, and some believe that it is Adidas that had a lot to say in that because they're massive money that they funnel into there. So interesting to there you go, Lions, baby. All right, Luke. So we've already talked about, we're going to switch it just for a minute and then we'll come back to football. We're going to switch it. So we've had Baker Mayfield, your favorite guy. And for those of you guys who don't know Luke, like I do, Luke loves Baker Mayfield, and Luke is a big LeBron guy. He's 26 years old. I'm 53. So I got more common sense as it relates to LeBron James than he does. And that's not a knock on him. That's strictly from an age standpoint. All right, Luke, I really, truly want you to remove your Homer hat. Like, seriously, I really want you to dig in on this and give me this from three vantage points. Your thoughts on LeBron and Bronny as it sits right now. Your thoughts on LeBron, Bronny, and his son Bryce over at Arizona and how that may impact things. Him opting into the deal, his option year with the Lakers. What happened with Luka? He stayed away. He hasn't even worked out with Luka or DeAndre Ayton. And now it's this unbelievable sciatic nerve that's 3 to 4 weeks. And he's going to sit out and he's going to monitor things from the sidelines. And mind you, because I follow this stuff all the time because of what we do, he was dancing in Puerto Rico. He was dancing someplace else. And he played golf all summer. And he played golf at and after the time that they said he got hurt in July. He's on film golfing it up in August and in September. Your thoughts on where things stand with LeBron?
All right.
What's up, 1224 Threads? Bronny needs to go back to the G League, he says.
Yeah. And by the way, 1224 Threads, Rocky 4. I don't know if you saw us talking about it in the messages.
Yeah, I did.
Drago's. No, I'm not going to do it because I'll talk about that all night. But
you didn't like Rocky 4? Or you did?
Rocky 4 is the best one.
Yeah.
He didn't want Apollo to die, which,
Yes, he did say that. He did say that.
It is what it is. It's storyline. I don't know. It's Rocky, not Apollo. But anyways, Bronny, what was the question? Sorry.
Man, it's like 4 parts. It all has to do with LeBron.
Yeah. Oh, where it stands with him and Bronny.
So, go ahead and start with the sciatic nerve.
I think you're too skeptical because you're too close to the hate on LeBron. I think the guy is an old man. I think he's playing ball for so long, and sciatica isn't.
I've had it. It's not fun.
Right, but it's not.
not fun.
Correct me if I'm wrong then, because I haven't had it, but I know my dad has. It's not there all the time, right? Like it's
For some people, it is. It doesn't go away. I mean, for me, when I've had it, I'm at getting a massage for like 7 straight weeks, plus doing exercises on my own to get it to level out. But yeah, when you get it, man, it can stay a while. I mean, you got to treat it, especially as you get older.
for sure. But I'm saying when my dad had it, like it was like a day-to-day thing. Like he'd be like, "Yeah, sciatic is acting up right now."
Yeah,
But a
it
lot
can
of times
come
it
and
wasn't.
go, or it can stay.
Right. So if it's a come and go thing and you're out to eat with somebody and it's not there and he dances a little bit, I don't think that means he's not hurt. I think
Man, would you call a spade, please? Would you
yeah,
please call a spade a spade?
I am. I'm calling a
This
spade a
is
spade
not
when I say you hate LeBron so much that you're calling a fake injury when he's just old. He's been doing it for
Okay.
so long.
We're going to get into it now. This is going to be fun. He stayed away from the team all postseason or all off season, excuse me. You don't think he got pissed that they turned things over to Luka and made Luka the man and LeBron on the outside looking in? The Lakers made it clear they were moving on without him. However, they allowed him to pick up his option year and finish his time with the Lakers, where they could have pulled that from the table or they could have traded him away. So they gave him the ability to stay. He stayed away from the team. He didn't really support Luka in his endeavors. I don't think he likes that. For the first time in his 20, 21 years, whatever it is, he's not the man. The Lakers don't want him, and nobody else wants him. People are tired of him. I'm trying to tell you, and you know I'm pretty good with this kind of stuff. They don't want him. They don't want him.
But I think the goggles on.
No goggles. What he's doing to the Lakers and what he has been doing by holding them hostage and not being a team guy and not supporting Austin Reeves and not being there when you go get DeAndre Ayton and Luka 31, 32 pounds less and get yourself set up for whether it's your last year or not, or you want to be there or you don't. He has made himself he's been evasive. He's been distant. He's been all those things. And that's a pride thing because he doesn't like they turned the switch on him.
You could be right, but the way I see LeBron, I'm gonna, we're gonna take the homer hat off, as you said. But I think when he was in Cleveland, I mean, he was the man in Miami, but he went there to be surrounded by good players. And then when he was in Cleveland, you're already disagreeing. I see your face. You gotta let a little bit creep in. You got to let a little bit through.
He's going to monitor things. His agent, Rich Paul, in Clutch Sports continues to say he's going to monitor. What exactly are you monitoring? If you want to say trade me?
No, I don't think so.
Or he wants to see what other teams have and who might be worthy of him trying to escape out again and send me over here so maybe I could get my 5th ring? That's what he's doing, Luke. It's right in front of all of us.
All right, let me finish. He went to Miami to be, surrounded by good players. All right, then he's in Cleveland. They're saying, like LeBron's 1, Kyrie's 2. He didn't like that stuff. He didn't like it at all. He told the media to stop saying that stuff. That's what drove Kyrie out, and he was pissed about it. Kyrie wanted to be his own guy, his own team. He didn't want just LeBron. So then he goes to LA. They get Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was the leading scorer. They ran the offense through Anthony Davis. That's not.
And he didn't like that either. He didn't like that either.
Yeah, he did. He did like it. And you don't think he had anything to do with him getting Luka?
Anything that makes LeBron second fiddle, he does not like. I study human behavior and the human condition as a big part of my life and as a big part of the reason I became a coach. You got to look at this guy's history. If he does not receive appreciation, attention, adulation, and everything else, he starts to flip, and it comes from his upbringing. He has to be the center of attention. He has to be felt in need. If he does not feel like he's needed, then he believes he's useless. And the dude obviously never got help with it. I know that's his personal life and stuff, but now he's talking about he doesn't want to be alone. He must have did something. I don't like to say this type of stuff, but he must have done something on or behind his wife's back. It kind of seems like that. I'm not saying it, but he's saying, I don't want to be alone. And, I'm never going to this and I'm never going to do that until I'm under. And there's pictures of him and his wife coming up. Now, I don't know if he went and did something, but he's a super, super insecure person. And the minute somebody, Luke probably has never had a house guest that overstayed his welcome. 1224 thread says, Luke probably has never had a house guest that overstayed his welcome.
What does that mean? People that want to hang out with me?
No, it just means that somebody that you don't want to be there that stays longer than you want them to, right? They overstay their welcome. And he basically does that everywhere he goes. He leaves things worse after from when he gets there to when he leaves it in worse shape than when he got there. So this is like a historical pattern for 21 years. So you think the sciatica nerve is legit. You think the 3 to 4 weeks off is necessary. You think him surveying and, monitoring the situation, you believe that that's all normal.
Well, I think he goes about things in an odd way. There's no question about that. He does things weird as far as staying away from the team or whatever. I don't think that means he's trying to pull the rug out from under the Lakers and get traded or whatever. But he does things his own way. He likes to be in the media. He's a selfish guy. He likes people to be talking.
Thank you.
And we're sitting here talking about him. So he's getting what he wants right now. Everyone's talking about him. No, he's not.
Yeah, he is getting what he wants, but he's I don't even want to go there. He's made a fool of himself. He's destroyed his legacy, and he will always be remembered for these things more than his ability. Trust me when I tell you, you've seen over the years that a lot of things that I've said have come true. This is going to be one at the tops. I'm telling you, he's going to go down for so much drama. The league is in trouble. It has been in trouble under his reign. And he's left, just like I tell you, everything he touches, when he leaves it, it's worse. The NBA is going to be the same thing. And it's going to take guys like Cooper Flagg, and it's going to take Anthony Edwards, and it's going to take some of these young guns, Shea. It's going to take some of these young guns to bring this league back. Yeah, I actually agree with you, Adam. Adam says a return to Cleveland Part 2 would unironically be LeBron's best chance at another title. I actually halfway agree with that. I still don't think they'll be able to get through the West, but it wouldn't shock me. And Dan Gilbert, who I've met before, I just hope he doesn't do it for his own sake.
That would be awesome. That would be so. If LeBron,
let's go for number 3
to return a Cav or retire a Cav. I mean, that would be.
He'll probably do that anyways. He'll retire. Sign a 1-day contract and retire.
Cleveland. This is
I just don't. I don't see it, man. I really and truly don't see it. All right, let's pop back to football for a moment. I just want to get your take, Luke, on who your top 5 teams are right now in the NFL as of today. Like right now, today. Who are your top 5 and in what order?
All right. I'm just gonna rip them off. I don't have it written down, and I might as I go through it, I might want to switch the order up because something pops in my head. But I'm gonna say the Lions, the Chiefs. I'm not putting them at 3, but let me say the Bills. I think they are low right now, and everyone's selling stock on them. But the Bills are up there. I will put the Bucs up there. That's 4.
Yeah. You got Chiefs, Lions, Bucs, and Bills.
Yeah, it's hard to not say the Eagles. I'll say the Eagles. I'll go Eagles.
All right. You can hold on to that and maybe reserve the right to change it after I give mine. This is pretty much the order that I would do it. The Chiefs is 1, and now Rashee Rice is back. That we talked about it. Something snapped a couple of weeks ago. Mahomes started playing better, and Worthy got back healthy. And then Cleveland is the city where we come from. Bone Thugs and Harmony. Yeah, they're a good group. Chiefs, Lions number 2, Tampa number 3, Seattle number 4, number 4, Green Bay number 5. I don't have the Bills there. I'm going to tell you something about Sean McDermott, and I said this in one of the lives this week. Sean McDermott might be in trouble. I have to say what I believe is the truth, and that Josh Allen might be being wasted. They have no defense. Okay, you're a big football guy. Matt Milano's a nice player,
Yeah.
Okay. And they act like Matt Milano, they can't win if Matt Milano's out of the game. Even when he is in the game, they are a sieve defensively. And Sean McDermott comes out of Andy Reid's Philadelphia coaching tree, and defense was his calling card. And they don't have it now. They really haven't had it. And it's Josh Allen, and your number one wide receiver is Shakir, who is at best a 2, should really be a 3. Keon Coleman, who played for Michigan State and then Florida State, he's not developing.
Right.
Josh Allen, much like Brady, made a lot of those other receivers. Like he had Diggs. Okay, great. He had Diggs. But, Gabe Davis and those type of guys, that was Josh Allen's doing. Now you got a nice running game, and then you have Kincaid and you have Knox at tight end. Kincaid's the better, all-around tight end, I would say. Not as good at blocking, but you get what I'm saying. And there's basically nobody else. So I can no longer put them in the top 5 the way that they look. They're losing to lesser teams. And when they play better teams, they can't stop anybody. So I don't understand how I can put them in 5, and I don't see them as a real threat right now. And if they somehow get there, Kansas City will go through them like a lawnmower.
Yeah, I don't know, but they always seem to be there, and they'll figure it out. I can't sell stock on a guy like Josh Allen. Like, you just can't do it. He's good.
But it's not Josh Allen and the Rockettes and nobody against everybody else, because that's basically what it is. He's got James Cook, but that's basically it. And they got nothing defensively. And no 24. I am not a McCarthy guy. I honestly believe he's coordinator type. I don't view Mike McCarthy as a head coach. He's suggesting maybe Mike McCarthy as an offensive-minded head coach for the Bills. He says, get rid of McDermott and get an offensive-minded coach, maybe McCarthy. I'm not there. I don't think McCarthy should go to any of the other jobs like Cleveland either. But anyways, I think the Bills are in some trouble. I think Philadelphia looks awful.
Philly does. I would put them at 5, but it's just that it's teams like I don't want to play them. I wouldn't want to play either of those teams right now, just because if it was one to go home, either way, yeah. I know they don't look as good as some teams in the league, but I'm not trying to play Philly, a team that's been there, a team that
play Philly in a few weeks. I don't care.
A win or go home situation. Like Bills, Eagles, they can beat anybody any week. They look bad right now, but I have no doubt they'll both figure it out. The Eagles looked bad for a stretch last year too.
All right. So, do you want to keep your 5 the way that it is? Philly at 5?
Yeah, I'll keep it.
All right. Okay. So something that we talked about on Fearless with Jason Whitlock today was some leaked video and audio from September 2024 with Bill Belichick, his girlfriend Jennifer Hudson, and some members of Belichick's team for the show Coach. All right. That was a football show. And you got to see this. Pablo Torre, who used to be with ESPN, he is no longer, he's himself now, basically. He's an independent, investigative journalist. And this material ended up in his hands, and he released it this morning, and we talked about it, and it's a big deal all over social. And it basically has Jordan Hudson ruling the roost in this, quote, meeting. Now, Jason Whitlock made a great point in that he disagrees with the invasion of privacy and the intrusion into people's privacy, and that it's an unfair thing. And I'm paraphrasing, Jason. I don't want to directly, quote exactly, but that it's unfortunate that this type of stuff gets out there, and that if he was offered the tape, he would decline it, is what he was saying on the show. That aside, whether or not you believe it's fair or not, she's running the whole meeting as if she's the authority on football, as if she's the authority on graphics. And you got to watch it, and you got to see how him and her go back and forth. And this was basically September 24, which is basically right around the time that they made it public about their relationship. Where I'm going with this is, yes, that was a little over a year ago, in line with when they announced that they were starting to date. But Bill Belichick, much like LeBron James, is in a complete spiral Both men are and have destroyed their legacy, so much to the point where I might like put somebody over him on the sign. I'm like actually embarrassed. What are your thoughts about a coach? Can you imagine any coach that you ever had? Let's say it was at college, or let's say it was Giannoni's wife that was around the team and she was dictating stuff. Would that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable as a player? And I'm not talking about a pizza party for the team. I'm talking about down on the sidelines and meddling in shit.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. It's unacceptable if the assistant coach is doing that over the head coach, let alone his girlfriend.
Let alone his 24-year-old girlfriend, and he's 72, 73 years old.
Yeah, with 6 rings.
It's literally become laughable. I really want you. It's about a 6-minute clip. Pop it up tonight on X. It's all over. It's even on mine. I shared it. You won't believe it. You absolutely won't believe it. All right. So do you believe that Bill Belichick is done in coaching? He's on the hot seat at UNC. It seems like he bit off more than he can chew. I don't see anybody wanting to go play for him anymore. I don't think he has the clout that he once had. Why would anybody go to UNC? I don't think they're deep pockets more than anybody else. Like, let's say, why are you going to go play? He's lost his cachet, and it's kind of a. What do you think should happen with him? He plays tonight, actually. He's got Cal tonight. They play UNC and Cal 30.
You should walk away. His whole thing, he should have left and left his legacy with the Patriot way, the do your job, Belichick. I mean, that was.
Well, they basically got rid of him. So do you think he should have stayed in the NFL or go to college or nothing?
Everything he's done since he left. He had something to prove after Brady left.
He sure did.
And he didn't prove it.
Yep.
So
while he was with New England, you're saying, or he still wanted to prove it after he left New England?
Well, for sure while he was in New England, but he hasn't proved it since either. But yeah, I mean, he lost. And then it's just time to step away because you're just stacking up the losses now. Like, how long? They're not going to get married. He's
by all accounts, they're nearing. Actually, I think they got engaged. One of the guys can tell me on the screen here. I think they did get engaged, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think this is the girl. I think this is the girl he wants to stay with. Seriously, but whether or not what's that?
I said I can't judge. I mean, good for him, honestly. I'm not judging him at all. Good for him, but it just doesn't seem it seems theatrical.
To say the least. All right. The NBA season thoughts on the Western Conference. You got a top 10 there in order?
I do. And I think we're going to disagree a lot on these, but.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. I got to catch up on some basketball. I haven't done much
next week.
Anything. I know. I've been a bad basketball fan. I haven't been enjoying watching the games as much.
Must be because LeBron is still in the league.
Must be because he's declined a little bit. Finally. I mean, okay, anyways, I'm going to go. I knew something was coming. All right. I got the Nuggets at 1, Timberwolves at 2, OKC at 3, which is, I think, where we disagree. All right. 4, I'm going to take the Lakers. 5, Clippers. 6, Warriors. 7, Rockets. 8, Mavs.
Hold on. 5's the Clippers. And then what?
Golden State.
Golden State 6, okay.
Rockets.
7.
Mavericks. Rockets are 7. Mavericks 8. Yeah, Mavericks 8. Spurs 9. Suns 10.
Yeah, we disagree a ton. We have 9 of the 10 teams we both agree that are in the top 10. You have the Suns in there at 10. I have Memphis in there at 10. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we're way off. So I got OKC at 1. I got the Clippers at 2, Denver at 3, Golden State at 4, the Rockets at 5, Minnesota at 6, the Spurs at 7, the Mavs at 8, the Lakers at 9, and then Memphis at 10. I can't. Why would I put the Lakers up there? They have no bench.
Yeah, I know.
They're a three-man team. It's not much better than last year. They got themselves a little bit of a rim runner who's better than Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton, but he doesn't have much of a game. And I think LeBron's going to be disinterested basically the entire year, and I don't even think he's going to be there. I think they're going to move him at the deadline.
I don't know. Like I said, I got to do more research. I don't know anything about his contract or anything right now.
So you would take the Lakers roster ahead of Houston right now? They're freaking loaded, or the Clippers for that matter are loaded.
Clippers are loaded, but they got to stay healthy. And
well, they all got to stay healthy.
That stuff doesn't work anymore.
I'm
not subscribing to that anymore. Like every time that's happened where they load up a team, they did it with the Clippers. They did it with the Nets for a little bit. They did it.
This is deep. It's depth. It's, Durant can play his role. He doesn't need to be the man. You've got great young talent around him. You've got one of the best coaches. What's that?
Rockets for sure. I'm talking about the Clippers. When they just load up.
There's a lot of older guys there.
Yeah, it hasn't worked, And I stuck him in at 10, but I'm a huge Suns fan. So when they loaded up Beal, Booker, KD, it didn't work. Like I'm over it. I'm over that.
Yeah, and I can see that. I could see how that would be. That's a tough deal.
Yeah, but Rockets, I thought about it. I just got to see some more. I don't know. KD wasn't looking too hot on the Suns last year. He put up numbers, but he's just not the same player.
That you just said, and then basically nobody else. Rockets are deep. They can go 8, 9 deep, and he does not need to be the man and score 32 a night. He can score his 20, 22 and score clutch buckets down the stretch and get his 32 minutes type of thing, 30 minutes even, and they can use him that way. So, Booker and him, Bradley Beal, he's kind of been, he's with the Clippers now, right? I know he was good earlier on, but he's kind of been absent for the last however many years. So I really wouldn't even look at that as a big three, but it'll be interesting. So that's just a teaser. We'll get more into it next week.
Teaser. I gotta do some research on
it. But I don't see like Cleveland. I don't see those teams. Orlando. I just still don't see them going back. Switching your number one option from Jalen Green to Kevin Durant is going from Motel 6 to the Ritz-Carlton. Adam says that. I like that. That's he's right. He's right. But he doesn't even really have to be the number one option. I mean, amen.
Sorry, go ahead.
Jalen Green, number one option to Kevin Durant is what he's saying, and he's saying.
No, I was going to ask you where you had the Nuggets. Do you have my 2?
Oh, 3.
3. Okay.
Number 3.
Oh yeah, you had Clippers too, right?
Yeah. OKC, Clippers, Denver, Golden State, Houston. That's top 5. Minnesota, Spurs. And the Spurs and Mavs, I can almost see switching. Minnesota 6, Spurs 7, Mavs 8, Lakers 9, and Memphis 10. So we'll see on that. All right, let's get to the picks here. And
we got
again. I was 3-3 last week, and you were 1-5 in college.
Yeah,
guys, these are the 5 biggest top 25 matchups tomorrow, and so here we go. Take it away, Luke. LSU, and I know you're a big Vanderbilt guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a big Vanderbilt guy. I just like what they got going on right now. I like that coach. I like Pavia, and I like the underdog. That's another school that's like Notre Dame, what you're talking about as far as talent pool, except it's so hard to get into Vanderbilt, and they have to play in the SEC instead of Notre Dame to play anybody. But I'm taking Vanderbilt, yes, -2.5 at home. LSU, man, I think they were in my top 5 at the beginning of the year, top 3 maybe. They're just not impressing me. I went out of order here a little bit. Georgia, Ole Miss. I got Georgia covering 6.5.
Wait, who are you taking on LSU and Vanderbilt?
Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Yeah, Vanderbilt to cover. Then I got Georgia to cover as well. At home, I wasn't sold on Georgia, but I think I'm also not sold on Ole Miss. I don't like that quarterback. He's from Fair. He went to Ferris State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I
So
don't
you're
know.
saying Georgia?
Georgia. Yeah. By the way,
Okay.
I'm going 5 for 5 on this, just so you guys know. And then
Okay.
I got USC plus 9.5. Just I feel like that. I think that's a crazy spread, personally.
Okay.
And then I got Tennessee 8.5. I love Alabama in the game, which I guess with that big of a spread, everyone does. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think this is a huge rivalry. Neither team are like world beaters right now. So I think this one goes kind of down to the wire. One score game for sure. And then this one was tough. I haven't watched a lot of either Utah or BYU, but from what I've seen, I'm taking BYU at home plus the points. Take the
All
dog.
right. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3 different picks.
All right.
So LSU plus 2.5. I got them over Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
That's a tough game to call, but it's still LSU, and they still got a terrific quarterback, and they can still do some things. Ole Miss, I'm a huge Georgia guy, but I'm a huge Lane Kiffin guy too, and I got a feeling that he's going to keep that game close. So I have Ole Miss plus 6.5. USC, we are in agreement. That's a lot of points, even though my Marcus Freeman love. USC looked pretty darn good last week, and they did a nice job defensively too, which was their weakness coming into the season. 9.5 points, quite a bit. So USC plus that number. Alabama, I've seen Tennessee more than any team in college this year. I think you know that. And they have quite a few flaws, and they can be exposed very easily. And I think Alabama's hitting a stride here, and Ty Simpson's playing some good ball. So I got Alabama covering the big number at home. And then BYU, we're in agreement on. I got BYU plus the 3.5 against Utah.
Yeah, I got to watch that game. I haven't watched either of them really, unfortunately.
Which one? Utah, BYU?
You or Utah. But just from looking at, past games and how they've been playing at home versus how they've been playing on the road, I don't know. Utah might be the real deal. Not like a top 5 team or whatever, but they might be better than a normal Utah team.
I think it's the opposite. They're barely hanging on to top 25, man. They lost some games that people thought they were going to win, like Texas Tech game, and they got drilled.
For real.
Yes, they are. Baron Morton playing some ball. 14-7 still. Louisville, Miami's 4th and goal at the 9. Timeout. 14-10. They kicked the field goal. So minute 56 left, and Louisville's going to get the ball back, and I can't see how many timeouts they have left.
Live bet Miami.
All right. Pro game starting out of the country again. It's a weekly deal. Rams and Jags. Take it away, Luke. Oops, let me get the screen up. Sorry.
All right, I feel a lot more confident about this than I did last week too. So let's see. I need a comeback week. That was embarrassing. I'm just going to be quick here. Give me the Jags plus 3.
Shocker.
All right, then we're out of order a little bit here again too. I did FanDuel too, but Eagles, Vikings. I got Eagles covering 2.5. Raiders, Chiefs. Oh, I got KC covering. I know that's a big spread and where the money's laying, it looks like, but they look good. They look very good. I think they put some points up on the Raiders. Saints, Bears. Where are we at here?
4.5.
We're always in a
Saints
different.
Saints plus 4.5.
I got Saints on here plus 4.5. And then Browns, Dolphins. I took Browns minus 2.5. My bad. I don't know how these get out of order, but Browns minus 2.5.
Carolina and the Jets is the next one. Oh, I'm sorry. So we did the first screen. My turn. I'm sorry. Rams minus 3 over the Jags. Minnesota plus 2.5 against the Eagles. Eagles are fading, my man. Huge number for Casey and the Raiders, but Casey's clicking, and now you got Rashee Rice back. That could get ugly, and 13 points. It's not the end of the world. It's not like they haven't done it before. They've been playing tight games last 4 or 3, but I still got to go Chiefs minus the points. Saints plus 4.5. Yes, I got the Saints plus 4.5 on the road at the Bears. And then I got the Brownies. Winning and outright, essentially. So Cleveland plus or minus 2.5. Obviously, you have to win outright in order to cover that spread. So I got the Brownies winning against the lowly Dolphins. It's about the only team in the NFL that's on the same level as the Browns.
Yeah, I would say
both
they're
in embarrassing situations.
the Dolphins might be in a worse spot.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get worse than Cleveland right now.
I know.
And when we get done with this, we have to touch on Flacco. Okay, because
Sure.
I almost forgot. All right, Carolina and the Jets.
All right. So on that last one, we disagreed on 2, that last card, but
We disagreed 1, 2. Yeah.
just the first 2.
Yep.
All right. I'm taking the Jets at home. I took the Patriots to cover. I'm done on I'm done on the Titans.
You probably want to throw that. You probably want to. I mean, Mike McCoy's coming in now, and they fired their coach, so they're going to come out inspired. That always happens. Did you take that into consideration?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did. This is a spiteful. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I feel like that's a very sharp line right there. I think.
All right, Mr. Fence guy, pick a side.
I got the Patriots.
All right,
covering.
All right, Colts and Chargers.
Give me the Chargers at home. Giants, Broncos.
I'm interested to see what you got here.
I went Giants. I went Giants plus 7.
Okay.
And then, yeah, give me the Cowboys at home in Jerry World.
All right, for the record, because there's people questioning me online, they know I'm anti-Shedeur Sanders in large part because of the way he acts. You know me, Luke. You saw me day in and day out practicing games. I want Jackson Dart to pull back a little bit on some of the flash, the chains and a lot of the motions and stuff and all the eye paint. Just, again, it is the same thing. People call me racist and they think it's a black and a white thing. I don't like some of the things he's doing. And everybody knows what I said about Jackson Dart and what I predicted, and it appears to be coming true. I wish he'd pull back a little bit. And Scatterbo is the same kind of way that way. And you saw the stuff they did, and Cam's got his shirt off. Did you see all of that in the end zone and the posing and all of that? They're having fun. I get it. But come on, guys. You know what I'm saying? Just taper that back a little bit. All right. I just had to get that on the record because people don't believe that that's the way that I feel, and it is. All right, Carolina and the Jets. I'm in agreement with you. I think the Jets pull one out. And also for the record, and my man Jason Whitlock disagrees with this, I want everybody out there to remember that when Dan Campbell took over the Lions, I remember the game vividly. It's in season 1 against Tampa Bay, again, of all teams. And it was a terrible timeout call, and there were a couple other crazy decisions, and people were absolutely going apeshit crazy about what Dan Campbell did. And you kind of got to get your footing, and you're under a lot of pressure. You got a lot of decisions to make, and he made a couple missteps, and he admitted as much. And Aaron Glenn did that this past Sunday in London, which is like everybody's asleep when they go there. I can't stand how they do that. what do you expect on the body clock, even if they come out on Wednesday? It's so foreign to the body and to the mind to play whatever time it is. But give Aaron Glenn a chance. I think you'll see him be okay. He doesn't have much to work with over there, guys. You know, Dan Campbell had Jared Goff, and Aaron Glenn has Justin Fields. That's nothing. He's not an NFL starting quarterback. He's just not. He's arguably not even a 2 and could be a 3, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that's a 2. And he stuck up for him today, I think it was, where he started comparing him, Luke, a little bit to Lamar Jackson. And said, look at the numbers. Hey, come on, Aaron. I know you're trying to pump up your guy and you're trying to build confidence in your guy. And you know I don't like Lamar Jackson, but don't call Justin Fields Lamar Jackson, please. All right, I had to get that on record too. All right, New England minus 6.5 over Tennessee. Mike McCoy or not. Colts, we were supposed to talk about this on the show today. We never got to it. And I got a whole bunch of data on the Colts. I won't go through that, but the teams they beat are 10-20. The teams that literally are 10-20. That's a 333 winning percentage. Now they start to go into a tougher, meatier part of the schedule. At the Chargers, it starts. And so I have the Chargers winning that game. The Giants +7, yes, against Denver. No question there. Although I love Denver, I still think 7's a lot for what's going on. Even though you see minus 120 on that number might go past 7. And then the Commanders and Cowboys, I'm locking in with the Commanders coming back with the 1.5 against the Cowboys, even though it's at Dallas. Dallas cannot stop anybody, even if you were the quarterback, Luke.
Yeah, I would give them some trouble. But I was just looking something up real quick because I wanted to add on to what you just said about Shedeur real quick. There's a difference between week 1 of the preseason versus the 3s and people that aren't even going to be on the roster, celebrating with yourself versus celebrating with a teammate after beating Harbaugh and Justin Herbert in your first career start.
I'm confused.
I'm saying you were getting on Shedeur for doing the flashy stuff, and you're saying like I'm saying that it's more warranted for Jackson Dart with nothing to do about race, but because it's just a bigger spot and it's a bigger he beat Harbaugh and Herbert in his first career start, so he celebrated.
Okay, I got you.
Thing, first quarter of a damn preseason game.
Yeah, I got you. Now.
Yeah.
All right, Packers and Cardinals. What do you got?
Pulling it back up. Pretty sure I'm with Packers here. Yeah, Packers. I have Packers covering. Falcons. I took the Falcons. Pretty much pick them, but give me Atlanta. Bucks Lions. We're gonna disagree here. Give me the Bucks +5.5. Like I said, I think it's gonna come down to probably be like a 12-point game and then 10-point game maybe. Bucks
backdoor score.
Backdoor cover. I'm feeling, which I'll enjoy seeing live.
Yes.
And then I went Seahawks -3.
Okay, so Green Bay Cardinals are an awful, hideous team. Green Bay takes them a -6.5. That's probably a double-digit win for them. The Falcons +1.5 against the Niners. I'm a big Falcons guy. You know that. And I think you'll start to see them hit their stride a little bit. We'll go back to the grass field, a little bit slower track. Bucks and Lions. Lions, I think, win this game going away. I think it's probably a double-digit win in that 8 to 10 range anyways. And then Seahawks, I got to give you a lot of props, Luke. They're really playing well. And I did a live shot this week about Mike McDonald. Do you realize that they're 10-1 in their last 11 road games since the beginning of last year? That is insane. Not home, away. Now they're coming at home, right? I got it. And maybe the home field isn't what it once was, but then again, they're playing really well. I think they're 4-2.
Yes.
What a hell of a job he's done.
Supposed to be one of the places to play, but yeah, I'm telling you, man, that boy Sam Darnold is not a joke.
Yeah, he's playing well. There's no question about it. So last night, Joe Flacco, and we talked about this to start the show today with Jason and TJ Moe. TJ and I were the guests on the show. And yesterday, Jason said that Cincinnati was going to be a problem and that he did not believe in the Steelers. And TJ and Steve Kim and other people disagreed, as did I. I felt that Pittsburgh would win that game. So obviously he was all into himself today. And he's like, yeah, aren't I the one who said it? Da, 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 da. And he says, Joe Flacco is actually better than Aaron Rodgers. And TJ and I were like, huh? Yeah. TJ and I were kind of like, huh? And it's the first time I ever was on the show with TJ. I haven't been on the show with him. And I'm telling you, he went first and he talked about his performance. And he literally took the words right out of my mouth that when I spoke, I said, man, he's like a fly. It must be my long lost cousin. And he's like a fly on my wall because he must have saw my notes and must have saw what I was thinking as I was reviewing film. He said about Flacco exactly what I said. And you know, Jason's hung up on 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions by Flacco. He's been with the team 10 days. He doesn't even know the whole offense. They go and well, they were at home, not on the road, but they beat Pittsburgh and they were the underdogs. Oh my God, all hail to Joe Flacco. And, you know, he's better than Aaron Rodgers. So TJ proceeds to say, hey, Jason, I just want to let you know, those are basically slants, rub routes, drag routes, and it's two, 3-step drop and out. And I'm going like this and I'm pointing at the camera and I'm nodding. I'm in like total agreement. It's like he's speaking for me. It's literally what I was going to say. And they're going back and forth and back and forth. And then it was my chance to talk. And I backed up everything that he said. And I started out by saying the most valuable player on the field last night was Zach Taylor. And he was like, why do you say that? Well, he drew up the game plan and he understood, get the ball in your weapon's hands and don't take no 5 or 7 step drop with Joe Flacco because he can't move. And if you give Pittsburgh, even though they've struggled this year, if you give Pittsburgh an opportunity to rush the passer and a guy who can't move, they're going to rush the passer. But if you do a 3-step drop and you get rid of the ball and you get it to Higgins and Chase, which there were 33 targets to those two guys. 23 were completed. No, it's actually, 23 were completed. 23 of the 33 targets went to Chase, and 16 of them he caught. Your thoughts, 2-part, on Flacco's performance, and then Flacco versus Rodgers, and then Flacco and what he did last night for Cincinnati versus he wasn't able to do any of that in Cleveland. What are your whys?
So just for starters, I think that was my favorite game to watch so far this year.
Let me stop you 1 second. Guys who are logged on here, Luke was an all-state quarterback, top 15 at the famous Warren De La Salle High School in Michigan. He's a state champion quarterback, all-state, top 15 all-time, and then went to Madonna University and shattered all their records. He's 6'5", and rocket arm, very basically very much the same size as Joe Flacco. So Joe is 6'5", 6'6". So from a quarterback's eyes, a quarterback's lens, what do you got?
Well, yeah, I was just saying that was my favorite game to watch so far this season. I think just watching the old men duke it out. They were throwing haymakers. They both played great, I thought, and it was very fun to watch. But yeah, you're spot on with the simplicity of the play calls and the routes and stuff. And
let me just say this: TJ said that was a high school game plan. He literally said that, and I agree with him. It's vanilla. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
At a certain point, how are you not covering a drag route? They would run it 3 times in a row. I don't get how Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh really just handed them a ball game last night. But Pittsburgh defense, I should say, because Rodgers I thought played very well. But yeah,
TJ said that Rodgers played better than Flacco, and Jason about fell off his chair.
Rodgers played better than Flacco. Yeah. Well, I
And,
don't know.
and he further said that's the best that Rodgers has looked since he's been gone from Green Bay. Last night was the best
That's
since
fair
Green
to
Bay.
say. That's fair to
Hell
say.
yeah, it is.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was moving. He looked like 25.
yeah. Just Flacco tucked that read option too and ran it. He was moving too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Flacco's a guy, man. He wasn't doing that in Cleveland this year.
Why?
He good in
Why?
spots last year. Why?
Why could he do for Cleveland and 4 starts or whatever it was?
I mean,
What he
who
did
can?
last night?
Nobody can. Nobody can do it in Cleveland. Nobody's
Well,
been able.
please tell the listeners, because I'm going to cut this up, and I got a lot of people that I talked to in Ohio. Why did he make it look so simple 10 days later against Pittsburgh at home? I know it was at home, not on the road. Why did he make it look so simple? And he couldn't do anything remotely to that level in Cleveland. What's the reason? Tell us why.
I think the answer
In
is
your
because it is that simple. I think if you're a guy that can diagnose defenses and you have weapons, you can hit those quick routes and they can make plays like you saw Chase do
Understood.
yesterday.
But
And
why couldn't he do it in Cleveland?
Yeah,
4 games.
it's not simple in Cleveland for some reason, and I think that reason is I don't know. I don't know why nobody can be good in Cleveland. It's weird. I think
Is it Stefanski? Is it the culture? Is it the weapons or lack thereof? What is it? I mean, they don't have Chase and
It's
Higgins. I don't think
definitely-
anybody's going to argue that.
That's true, and I have a point that I want to make, but I'll come back to it. I think that the losing culture has something to do with it, obviously. And I know Stefanski was like coach of the year and everything, but his play calling sucks. And like a lot of people were talking about, even Whitlock was talking about Dylan Gabriel was all dink and dunk offense. Like, okay, it looked a lot different than what the Bengals looked like last night. The dink and dunk offense with no space and there's no explosiveness and there's nothing. And granted, there's no.
Why do you think that's schematic, or you think that's because Chase and Higgins can create space?
No, I don't think it's because Chase and Higgins can create space. Like, I mean, sure, some plays, yes, but like I saw some drags and slants last night where he had to half the field to himself. That's not creating space. That's just he has a half the field to himself. They gave him space for whatever reason. But yeah, it's got to be schematically. I think top to bottom, it's just a dumpster fire right now. They don't have.
And the thing that's crazy, and TJ pointed this out too. Two things he pointed out. Chase Brown, they ran the ball really well last night, so that helped Flacco. And Jason made a great point in that, Joe has always had a great long throw of the ball. He's got a cannon, and he can throw the ball deep. So the threat is there. Even at 40, it's like a boxer. The last thing that goes from a boxer is his big punch. And generally speaking, Favre had a rocket when he left. Rodgers threw a 70-yard Hail Mary yesterday. He still has the. And Joe has a rifle, always had a rifle. But he didn't need, and Jason was harping on this, he didn't need to rifle the ball. He's not rifling the ball in passes like that. You're taking something off and you're making layered throws.
Yeah, he threw
Stefanski was just that bad. And Zach Taylor drew up exactly what he thought would work schematically against that team. And then Flacco and Chase Brown and the offensive line, which is typically porous in Cincinnati, and Chase and Higgins, they all executed the plan basically to perfection. Is that your take?
Yeah.
So who's most responsible for Flacco's performance last night? I mean, just honestly, your take. What's the number one reason that he was as successful as he was?
Can I say Flacco?
Is it him?
Yeah.
Flacco. Yeah, you can say it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it was a perfect storm or anything like that. Cleveland's not, my bad. Cincinnati's not just like, it's not a perfect marriage or whatever by any means. Like, it's not like a long-term thing, but he came and they weren't expecting him and he was there. He played smart. He made smart decisions and I don't know. He played well. There's nothing else you can really say. He played well.
He played 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Yes, he played well. But yes, he's throwing to incredible weapons. But yes, that if he takes a 5 or 7 step drop, it's over. There's nothing he can do. And Zach Taylor knew that.
Yeah.
2-3 out, 2-3 steps out.
Well, that's
And
also
got it to the playmakers.
right. That's absolutely true, but that also has to do with like unfamiliarity with the playbook and like the route concepts and everything that they're running over there. But also, it's kind of dumb to say that when it's a guy that's been in the league for so long, because there's only so many things you can call. Like he's heard every type of, it's not like a third-year guy getting traded. He only has been in one city, and now like he knows.
Yeah.
So I think.
And Jason was making a big deal about that, in that, oh, he doesn't even know the playbook. And I'm like, Jason, he doesn't really need to know the playbook.
Right.
That was a simple concept, a simple game plan that they executed to perfection, and Green Bay or Pittsburgh couldn't stop it. And then look on the flip side. How is DK Metcalf only have 3 catches with Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know.
You got to look at schematically what Taylor did.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give the credit to him, you can, and no one's going to say you're wrong, because he drew up a winning game plan versus, what were they, 8-9 point dogs, something like that. And he drew up a great game plan, but Flacco executed it, and the Steelers just let him have it, So,
and you know who their D coordinator is, right? Our old friend from Detroit, Terrell Austin. Terrible.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that.
Terrible. No adjustments, and they have regressed defensively.
Yeah, they got the big names but whatever. I was arguing this point last night because we haven't got a chance to talk about it, because he's been injured all year. But I'm arguing with my buddies all night last night that this game showed one thing to me. That's why I kind of don't have great answers right now, because I didn't do any critical thinking about it. All I thought about was that Joe Burrow is overrated.
I'm not going to say those words crossed my mind last night, but what did cross my mind is that's a almost 41-year-old quarterback doing what they expect Joe Burrow to do.
Well, here's
Joe Burrow in that moment last night, he does the same thing. You agree with that, right?
Why hasn't he done it?
Well, he has done that, Luke. He has done that before.
He has not
lighted up. He has not lit up other teams with Higgins and Chase in a similar way. Come on.
In a similar
how many games in the 30s, 35, 40 points? Come on. I'm not a big Burrow guy, but let's call it what it is, and you can look up the numbers.
Yeah, he's done it. He's done it, but he had to start this year. He had a chance to come out this year with all the hype and everyone saying Burrow's back and Joe Shiesty, and he threw for like 105 yards and lost the game.
One game.
He won the game, but it was one game. But
look at the balance of his career, and you cannot tell me that the guy has not had performances a lot like that. Like they're a juggernaut offensively. I think everybody knows that. I mean, they're losing to the Bills 42-38, and everybody knew this year it was going to be the same result. You're going to lose 38-35, 45-42, and some crazy shit like that. And what was it last night? 33-31.
You're making my point right here. So I'm glad you said that, because had they lost, whatever the score was, it doesn't matter, and Flacco played well, the narrative would not be, oh my God, that offensive line is so bad, or they have no defense. The defense can't stop anybody. It's like, yeah, well, we had Flacco starting. But if Burrow's starting, plays the same game, I just hate how much excuses that guy gets.
So double standard, you're saying? Yes. So if they came up short last night, it would have been all Flacco's fault. If Burrow was in the game and they came up short, blame the offense, blame the game plan,
not even
the defense.
It's not like like Flacco sucks. It's just like well, obviously we lost. We have freaking Joe Flacco.
He's 40. Yeah.
Yeah, but Burrow would have done if Burrow did the same thing. But how many times have you heard Trevor Lawrence has been cycling through coaches, has had no weapons except a rookie last year, no running game, no defense, and there's no excuses for him. There's no they're like Trevor Lawrence might be a bust, like why?
That's a fair point. I can't argue that. Joe Burrow does definitely get the benefit of the doubt. If that's what you're trying to say, that he always gets the benefit of the doubt, maybe 2x, 3x. Hard to argue that. And if he came up in that game short last night, it's the offensive line's fault. It's this fault. It's the defense. It's something. They don't want it. They don't want to give him shit.
Nobody does.
They don't want to put it on him.
I don't know why.
Well, I don't either.
It really pisses me off because there's quarterbacks that I like that get nothing,
Yeah. So last thing on that is obviously Cleveland traded Joe Flacco in division.
Yeah.
And did you hear Mike Tomlin earlier in the week? Andrew Berry
about it.
He was not happy. Must know more than me or us. You thought enough of him to be your starter in game one, start the season, and then you trade him to an in-division rival. That is crazy to me. What are your thoughts on the trade that they made and the reasoning behind the trade? Because there's a lot of teams right now that can use Joe Flacco. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. I don't know. Cleveland's pretty funny, man. Like they just do stuff.
I don't know if dumpster fire. Sorry, guys. I don't know if dumpster fire is a big enough word.
Why?
Honestly.
Yeah, why, I don't know.
It wasn't a 5th round pick. I wanted to correct the record this morning. They traded a 6 for a 5. So it's not like nothing left them and they acquired a 5. They gave a 6 and got a 5 and gave Flacco away. So Flacco and a 6 for a 5. So you think the Jets can use Joe Flacco right now? There's probably half a dozen teams that can use Joe Flacco right now. There has to be somebody else in the running. How about Baltimore? You think Baltimore could use him the last couple of weeks? And who knows if Lamar is going to be back and he's going to be healthy. So you think that's crazy, right?
People plug him in right now too. If you look at people, I don't know if he's wants to be a backup or anything, but I would gladly have him in Detroit.
Yeah, me too. Like he'd probably be the best backup in the league or top 3.
Yes.
How do you feel if you're Jake Browning? Jake Browning tried so hard out of Washington to become a starter in this league, and then he had some moments, right, last year, whatever. How do you feel? How would you feel if a 40-year-old was brought to town because you're just not good enough?
I don't know. I've been arguing this Joe Burrow thing for like 4 years now, so I was always rooting for and high on Browning to come in and like light it up. So I thought he had a chance. I thought he was good. I even said on the show, I was like, he's a pretty good backup or whatever. But I was just hoping, I think. But Flacco, yeah, you feel kind of, I don't know though. Joe's not like a scrub. Like he's Joe Flacco. I mean, it's not like some guy just showed up. Like he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know if I call him a Hall of Famer, but he's been around the block. He's been around the block a couple hundred times. All right. And he knows his stuff. And he's a great guy to plug in that moment, even on short notice, 10 days or less. It's a short day notice. So I think that, and I think we all agreed on the show this morning with Jason, I think that Tomlin knew what was coming. I think Tomlin knows that he doesn't have a very good team this year, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. So you have Baltimore that's way behind. You have Cincinnati that was fading and way behind.
Yeah.
You have a chance to basically coast a little bit. And Andrew Berry injected life, basically, into a team that had a serious need. You don't think that Mike Tomlin and team is like, yeah, look at Jake Browning go, man. Keep it up, Jake. Keep on, stinking up the room. And then you kind of throw a lifeline, basically. Yeah. In the division, it's like it doesn't make any sense. Literally nothing they're doing makes sense.
Yeah, it's like someone's got to come out and be like, we were just joking for the last 20 years. Big social experiment, prank, something.
And you know what? We're gonna sound like we're double standard here because we lived it. We lived our organization getting everything wrong, from coaches to GMs to quarterbacks to taking the wind in overtime. We've seen it all. We cannot find a way to properly utilize Barry Sanders. Like, no one was smart enough to be able to, oh, we're not going to throw him the ball. Why would you not throw the ball to Barry Sanders? It was so many crazy things, and Cleveland has proudly taken the torch. So Roberto Shenanigans from Cleveland, he jumps on with an article today. What's the secret? The secret is a change of ownership. 2024 thread says, what is the secret? The secret is William Clay Ford, unfortunately, he passed away. His wife, Martha Firestone Ford, took over the team, and then she stepped away. And then Sheila Ford Hamp took over the team. And she had a whole new outlook in the way to do things, and she got very involved, and she got up right in front of the world and said, it's all going to change right now. Here's our guys. Boom, 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 boom. Here's our plan. Boom, 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 boom. All of you guys in Cleveland, not one of you knows what the plan is for Haslam, for Barry, or for Stefanski. The Lions' identity was made clear when they made those hires. Brad Holmes was a terrific talent evaluator and an amazing guy. Dan Campbell was probably, Haslam ain't dying anytime soon. Yeah, well, Martha Firestone didn't die either, but new managing, always starts at the top. AK ownership, says Adam. Absolutely. But you can have a new managing owner or managing partner that takes over the day-to-day. Jimmy Haslam has proven that he messes it up, ad nauseum. You have a guy like Andrew Barry who isn't strong enough to make the right decisions. Brad Holmes was that guy. He chose Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell was essentially the number one candidate in the country. He didn't have some of the name cred that some of the other guys did, but a lot of people like Sean Payton knew it. The people in Miami knew it when he was interim head coach for both. Everybody raved about him. So Roberto Shenanigans, who's from Cleveland, he's my main source, or one of my main sources in Cleveland. He posted an article today and said that Cleveland had the sights set on Dan Campbell before the Lions got him. And then I did do the chant with me. You can't have them. You can't have them. We got him, and you didn't. And so how does it change? What is the secret? It is ownership down. It is having a plan, a formula, the culture. Look at the culture in Cleveland. Look at the culture in Detroit. Dan Campbell comes out in the press conference, says, I love Brian Branch, but that's completely, completely unacceptable. Did Jimmy Haslam come out and say, hey, I love Deshaun Watson, but what he's done and what he's been accused of, and he's innocent until proven guilty, is completely unacceptable? It's not. There's no leadership. There's no direction, no guidance, no nothing. And Stefanski's, it's just a cesspool of madness over there. And until you remove all of that, it's not going to change. Dylan Gabriel doesn't even have a fighting chance. Anybody who thinks that Shedeur Sanders can step in there and magically make a difference, it's not going to happen. Everything is broken. It's in pieces. So you thought Tomlin with that whole thing was crazy, right? Getting Flacco in the division, trading him in the division.
And this might be a dumb point, but just what you were talking, I just thought of something like out of Cleveland, like everything seems almost secretive or up in the air, or like they don't know their own selves, kind of like. And I was thinking about how to make that make sense, and I thought about last year when the Lions played San Francisco and the game didn't matter. Do you remember that? Right before the playoffs?
As far as their record, and he said we're playing it like it
didn't
means
matter
something.
at all. And everyone was asking, we were trying to bet on it. We were trying to figure out who to start for fantasy and everything. Yeah. If that's Cleveland in that situation, I feel like we don't get told, or we don't know, or you just got to bench them in fantasy just because they're not going to say anything. But Dan Campbell came out and he's like, "No, we're playing everybody. The
message is clear, the communication is clear. Here's who we are. We're not changing it for anyone. We're getting full buy-in. We're getting the players that do buy into it. So Myles Garrett is maybe one of the worst captains in all of football. Sorry, guys, I got to say it. And I'm going to cut a clip of this. Myles Garrett is awful. He's shooting his mouth and running his mouth every day. He did what he did with the helmet and hitting Mason Rudolph with it a few years back. He 120 miles an hour. He got caught 2 times. Rookie camp, he's in Tokyo. He's not supporting the team and the new guys they got. He's in Tokyo asking all over social media, anybody know the areas I need to get an apartment or whatever he says. And he's running his mouth today and he's running his mouth yesterday. It's just not what your leader does. You see Aiden Hutchinson doing that? You see Anzalone, Jack Campbell? You see these guys doing that? Jared Goff? No, you don't see it. You got Shedeur Sanders 2-3 weeks ago saying, hey, have you looked at the quarterbacks around this league? I know I'm better than a lot of them. Who in the hell? You know what? First of all, no one on the lines. We don't have those type of guys. But if somebody stepped out of line like Branch did, it's boom. He's coming down on his head. It is not acceptable. This is not who we are, and it's not going to happen ever again. And if it does, you're coming through me. No one is afraid in Cleveland. No one is fearful of anything. In fact, they want to get out of there. They want to leave. And if anybody in this thread or anyone that sees this on recording, if you don't think that Myles Garrett is plotting his way out of there, you're mistaken. I think he regrets signing the deal. He could have got $40 million elsewhere, and I think he's pissed at himself that he accepted there because they're not winning this year, next year, or the year after. They're years away. That's how bad it is. Years away. So
Agreed for
it's
sure.
crazy. It's crazy stuff. So, guys, what's that?
Detroit drafts people first.
Yes, and they're very, very intentional about it. They talk about it all the time. Guys like Campbell, Rodrigo, Anzalone, Hutchinson, all of these guys are very specific to fit a certain type of mold of leadership, the grit, the fight, the team guy. It's team before we. It's none of that stuff. None of that exterior stuff. They will pass on a guy. St. Brown, they will pass on guys. And see when Jameson Williams got in a little bit of trouble, how they brought that, reeled that in, and then they police themselves. So a lot of the stuff doesn't even get to Campbell or Holmes because there's leadership and a core within the team,
For sure.
and they're hammering guys if they get out of it. All right, guys. So Monday we're going to do a recap. I'm going to do a recap of Sunday's games and a little bit of a pep rally for Monday Night Football between the Bucs and the Lions. It's an early start at 7:00. Luke is currently in Michigan, just north of Detroit. Where are you at? About 17, 18 mile? Where does she live?
26.
Okay, so he's about 18 miles north of 8 Mile. Everybody here has heard of 8 Mile. But he will be at the Lions game on Sunday, and we're going to pipe him in live maybe for 5 minutes or so, kind of get his take on the vibe around the stadium, because if I would imagine no one here or no one watching that's outside of Detroit has ever been to a Lions game on a Monday night or a Sunday night, but it's totally crazy. It's an all-day thing, and this is a little bit of an early start, which is a little bit different. It's going to be wild. So Luke's going to give us the pulse. Maybe, grab the phone and have somebody say what they want to say about the Lions. But I'll do a full recap. We'll recap the Browns. I know we got some Browns fans in there. We'll definitely recap the Browns game. I actually have them winning. All right. Don't hold me to it. But we'll talk about that. And then again, guys, if you have not subscribed on YouTube, please do so at PB Sports Talk. I think everybody on here follows us on X at PB Sports Talks with an S. If you would like to contribute to what it is we're doing, you can do that now right on the front page where you view the profile right at the top underneath the main banner. There's an opportunity to contribute to the cause and what we're trying to do here and what we're trying to build. That'd be greatly appreciated. And then, of course, please share the link, share the tweets, share the videos, share the live shots, invite friends on. I really want to build this into something special. I do fully expect to continue to be a contributor with Jason Whitlock. I'm super, super excited about that. I want to get in with the other guys, Steve Kim and several of the other guys. I'm really looking forward to that. So really appreciate your guys' support. Everybody I see on here, you guys are here all the time now, and I can't tell you what that means to me. It means a whole lot. So Luke, great show, great job.
Thanks.
I'm sure we will talk tomorrow as I'm whooping up on you on college football, and then of course on Sunday when I really no, it ain't. No, it's not. No, it's not. All right, you better hope.
No, I don't need that.
say hello to Jordan, and
We'll do.
have a nice weekend. And I'll definitely talk to you, but Monday for sure. We'll figure out a time to tap in and get some of the fans excited.
Too. So a way that you could hear me, you know. So we gotta.
Yeah.
We gotta talk.
We'll get it. We'll figure it. All right, guys, have a great evening and an awesome weekend. I'll talk to you again. Maybe drop a thread tomorrow. There'll be live tweeting going on all weekend. I'll see you there, or perhaps I'll drop in and do a live shot. If not, I'll see you all on Monday. Everybody remember, life is short. Hug someone, hold someone, because life is short. Have a great evening, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Later.